Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is set to introduce many different revelations as well as twists and turns that will lead to saga-wide implications within this story by director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film, at the end of the day, is going to be a revelation film. It's going to have a lot of reveals that will change how we view the past 8 Star Wars films that come before this one, as well as a lot of Jedi and Sith lore that will be used in order to benefit the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for a moment within the first act of Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of Kylo Ren inside of his chambers, where it's described that he is training himself through the ways of the dark side, where Kylo is said to be holding Darth Vader's melted helmet in both of his hands. It's described that as Kylo focuses his mind on the dark energy associated with the helmet, he begins to hear the voices of Anakin Skywalker and Darth Sidious from scenes taken from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, that are said to be modified to give it a dreamlike feel. It's described that Kylo is trying to learn more about his grandfather and the other side of him as Anakin Skywalker, and discovering new truths of Anakin and how Palpatine was able to train Vader that Kylo could use to his own benefit. Additionally, it's described that one of the other sequences based in the first act of the film also involves a moment in which Kylo places the Vader helmet on a shelf and begins to walk into his very own vault. Just like how Palpatine, Snoke, and Vader had their own, Kylo now has one of his own, where it's said to be full of relics that once belonged to Anakin, Vader, and even Palpatine, and that Kylo has been using these as clues to learning more about his own grandfather, Anakin Skywalker. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to be introducing lots of Jedi and Sith lore to really advance the characters of Kylo and Rey in this story. Now, the one thing that really stands out to me the most here is how when Kylo Ren is focusing his mind on the melted helmet of Darth Vader, he begins to hear the voices of both Anakin and Palpatine from moments in the past. Now, these actual pieces of dialogue are said to be taken directly from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, that is said to be modified to give it a dreamlike feel for us, the audience, as well as the character of Kylo Ren. Now, what I like about this is that this is for the very first time going to provide us with a dark side user training through the ways of the dark side on the big screen. You know, as of right now, we have never been able to see an actual dark side character training through the ways of the dark side, either by himself or through his master or any kind of aspect like that in the Star Wars franchise. We never got to see something like that in great depth, and now we will be getting that in Episode 9's first act of this movie. And what's really exciting about this also is that Kylo Ren is doing all of this in order to learn more about his own grandfather, Anakin Skywalker. So he wants to learn the other side of Darth Vader, exactly how he became Darth Vader and how he really turned, and other ways that Palpatine was able to train Vader over the years after the events of Order 66 that Kylo is looking to use to his own advantage. So not just that, we also know that Palpatine, Vader, and Snoke had their own vaults. Now Kylo Ren has his very own vault on board of the First Order Ravager ship, which is said to be Kylo Ren's dedicated Star Destroyer that's going to be much larger than that of Snoke's Supremacy, as seen in The Last Jedi. And within this ship, there's an actual vault that belongs to Kylo, containing many different relics and artifacts that once belonged to Vader, Palpatine, and even Anakin Skywalker, one of which is, of course, Padme's necklace. Somehow, some way, Kylo Ren was eventually able to find that necklace. So, with that being said, what I like about this in particular is that this is a moment in which we have a training session for Kylo Ren focusing on the dark energy that surrounds the melted Vader helmet, which, by the way, the spirit of Sidious is going to be able to use this as a conduit, if you will, a way to communicate with Kylo Ren later on in the film, which is going to be very interesting as well. And the other side of this is that this is, for the very first time, going to show us Kylo Ren having a deep interest in the other side of Darth Vader. That, of course, being Anakin Skywalker, the man who he was before he became half machine and half man, as Obi-Wan would actually say. So what I like about this also is that if we look at Episode 9, JJ and George Lucas, they really worked very hard on adjusting the script during the months of November and December to provide us a very authentic Star Wars film. I think I'm more optimistic the fact that George Lucas is attached to this movie. I think a lot of people are, and I think a lot of people will agree that it is a lot more interesting to know that George Lucas had a great hand in this movie, and not only that he was also involved with a lot of rewrites of Episode 9 and stuff around those lines, so we can expect to have a lot of George Lucas tones in The Rise of Skywalker that'll actually end the sequel trilogy in a respectful way. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.